Chapter 2239. Cece. Rick couldn't think straight anymore. He hugged Cece tightly and called her name. He thought Cece would only scare him to make him stay, but he didn't expect her to pull the trigger without warning. Everything happened so suddenly that he didn't have time to react. All he could think about was Cece. Cece was lying in his arms, on the verge of death. "Then you won't leave me?" She forced herself to say it. Her body and mind were very weak, and she even smiled. Rick felt a tearing pain in his heart. The pain came one after another, and he couldn't stop. He hugged Cece, and his tears finally came out like a broken dam. "Cece, Cece, don't sleep. Wake up." Huamin rushed back. "Qin Chu, help me save Cece. I can't let her die." Rick looked at Qin Chu like a helpless child. Huamin didn't understand Rick's coldness. Was she angry? She looked at Rick and shouted, "Save what? Let's just kill her. I don't want to be tortured by you after she's saved." "Honey, calm down." Qin Chu placed his hand on her shoulder. "How can I calm down? Look at Cece now." Huamin was also very agitated. "Let's save her first. We can talk about the rest later." Qin Chu left. He carried Cece in his arms and put her in the car. Luckily, South Hill Manor was very close to South Side. They took a short time to send Cece to the hospital. Qin Chu changed into his doctor's clothes and followed them into the operating room. Huamin was emotionally unstable, so Qin Chu left him outside. Before Qin Chu went in, Rick held his hand and said, "Brother, I'll leave her to you." Qin Chu understood what he meant. Rick trusted him. He nodded. "Don't worry. I'll save her." After Qin Chu entered the operating room, Huamin and Rick waited outside. Huamian didn't say a word to him. Perhaps she thought that Rick was responsible for everything that had happened to Cece and that he was the culprit. She was a beautiful girl with a harmonious family and a few good friends. She came from a good family and studied abroad. She was sweet and cute. She was such a winner in life, but because she fell in love with someone like Rick, who had a special identity and a cold personality, she became what she was today. Huamin felt that Cece was not worth it. "Dr. Qin, the patient's heart rate is very unstable. It's about to stop," the nurse said anxiously. He gave Qin Chu a big problem right from the start. Because Cece wanted to die, the part of her body that was shot happened to be her heart, which was the most important part. Electric shock. Qin Chu made a prompt decision without any hesitation. The operation lasted for more than 4 hours. Rick's men did not dare to urge their godfather to leave. From evening to the wee hours of the morning, the 4 of them spent their time in the hospital. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Qin Chu came out of the operating room tiredly and took off his mask. Huamin and Rick rushed to him immediately. "Honey, how is Cece?" Huamin asked first. "The bullet has been removed. She needs to be under observation for 48 hours. Qin Chu answered. Huamin and Rick were relieved to hear Qin Chu's words. "Qin, I want to see her," Rick said in a low voice. "Not now. She's not out of danger yet. She needs to be observed in a sterile environment. You can see her through the glass door," Qin Chu suggested. Huamin looked at Rick angrily. "I'm telling you, her life could be in danger at any time. If Cece dies, you'll feel guilty for the rest of your life. Do you understand?" Chapter 2240. I know. Rick didn't avoid Huamin's accusation. "Honey, I'm so hungry." Qin Chu changed the topic so that his wife wouldn't be a burden to Rick. Huamin held onto Qin Chu's hand, heartbroken. "Let's go home. I'll cook you some noodles." Qin Chu nodded and turned to Rick. "Don't worry, she'll be fine." Rick nodded, knowing that he didn't need to say anything. On the way home, Huamin was still angrily criticizing Rick for his coldness toward Cece. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He waited for Huamin to finish before saying, "Honey, Rick isn't as heartless as you think. It's just his personality. He was born into a family like that, so his childhood was destined to be less happy than others. He was under a lot of pressure and didn't know how to fall in love or how to protect someone. His family taught him how to kill. We're not Rick, we're not in his shoes, so we can't treat him the same way." "So you're speaking up for your brother?" Huamin pouted. Okay, let's not fight over this. Someone just said he was going to cook me some noodles. No, go eat instant noodles. Huamin pretended to be angry. Even though her husband just had a major surgery and is exhausted, his wife doesn't care about him. She wants him to eat instant noodles, so let him eat them. After all, instant noodles are junk food. If he eats too much, his stomach will be damaged. When that happens, he'll have to rely on his wife to take care of him. Mr. Qin complained on purpose. Huamin's heart softened. Okay, stop nagging. I'm going to cook some noodles. Wait here, and you should go take a shower. You smell like formalin. Isn't this your favorite smell? Qin Chu joked. I love it when I'm at work, but not when I'm home. My house must always be filled with the smell of rice. After that, Huamin went straight into the kitchen to cook noodles for her husband. Outside Southside, Isurik was now outside the glass door, looking at Cici. He knew that Qin Chu and Huamin were right. Cici was still in danger and could leave him at any time. Cici, you have to wake up. I don't want to lose you. Thinking about what Cici had said before she fainted, Rick felt as if someone had ruthlessly rubbed his heart. Yunding Mountain Pudding and Little Bean were swimming with their grandparents. Qin Ning, on the other hand, liked outdoor hot springs. He was soaking in the hot spring water alone in the ginseng pool. Snowflakes were still floating in the sky, landing on her black hair and forming ice droplets. She was extremely beautiful. At this moment, her phone rang. It was a WeChat message. She immediately picked up her phone from the rock beside her. In the end, he was a little disappointed. It turned out to be his overseas father. Nowadays, he was really keeping up with the times. His father was also using WeChat and would send him red packets from time to time. Where are Pudding and Little Bean? I want to see them, Qin Ning's father said in a voice message. They're not with me. They're swimming indoors with Uncle. You can video call Uncle, okay. You didn't see that brat from the Tang family when you went back, right? Qin Ning's father had been angry ever since Tang Chuan ran away last time. He felt that this brat didn't love his daughter and didn't want to be a live-in son-in-law, so he ran away in the middle of the night. In fact, he didn't know that Tang Chuan didn't leave because of this. Dad, can you stop asking about me? Qin Ning was very annoyed. She put down her phone and muttered to herself, that brat from the Tang family? Who wants to see him? However, at this moment, she heard a voice behind her. You're not a good baby when you talk bad about others. Qin Ning was startled. She turned around and was dumbfounded. Why you here? Chapter 2241. Why can't I be here? I'm here to soak in the hot spring. You're doing business here, so why can't I come? Tang Chuan laughed. Ever since he knew that Qin Ning was back, Tang Chuan had been in a good mood. Came by yourself? Qin Ning looked around and didn't see Tang Chuan with any female companions. She was secretly happy. You don't have to. I really came by myself. Tang Chuan laughed. Perhaps Qin Ning felt that she was being too obvious, so she immediately explained, I mean, you didn't come with Su Yu and the others? No, it's almost Chinese New Year. Lord Su is very busy these days. He has to go back to his hometown with the Su family to worship their ancestors. Oh, what about you? You don't have to worship your ancestors? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan and asked. Of course I do. I went there early and ran back. I didn't go with my dad and the others. I burned some paper for my great-grandfather alone. I hope that he will bless me and help me marry a good wife this year. After hearing this, Qin Ning's cheeks flushed slightly. Then, Tang Chuan continued, it doesn't matter if I'm a live-in son-in-law or not. The most important thing is that you have me in your heart. I don't want to get married not because of love. After all, it's such a precious thing. It might only happen once in a lifetime. You're so talkative. Qin Ning turned her head away, too embarrassed to look at Tang Chuan. She looked away. When did you come back? You didn't even tell me? I could have held a welcoming party for you. Tang Chuan came up and looked at Qin Ning in a colorful bikini swimsuit. His blood was about to boil. Because Chinese New Year was approaching, there weren't many people in the hot spring hotel. Especially the outdoor hot spring. The temperature was too low. Qin Ning was the only one there. So, when Tang Chuan came, he found that this was a good place to talk. Why should I tell you? You didn't tell me when you left. Qin Ning was still angry when she thought about how Tang Chuan left her house in the middle of the night without saying goodbye last time. I didn't. I left my last words. No, I left a note. Don't lie. What note? You didn't see it? Qin Ning played dumb. Io, little girl, you're really shameless. Tang Chuan laughed. Anyway, I didn't see any note. I knew someone had been living and eating at my place for more than 20 days, but in the end, he just left. How disloyal. The more Qin Ning spoke, the prouder she became. That sounds like it. Why don't I compensate you? Tang Chuan smirked. How? Qin Ning was surprised. I've been playing around since I was young, so I don't know much. How about this? I won't make things difficult for myself, and you don't make things difficult for me either. I only know a very professional skill, and I'll show it to you. What skill? Hearing Tang Chuan's serious tone, Qin Ning really fell for it. Tang Chuan moved his mouth closer to Qin Ning's ear and whispered, "Warm the bed, Tang Chuan, you pervert." Qin Ning was furious and immediately slapped Tang Chuan on the shoulder. Tang Chuan laughed. Pervert? That's a good word to use. I think I can take it, hee. What kind of person is this? Instead of being ashamed, you're proud. You're the best in the world. Qin Ning was so amused by Tang Chuan that she didn't know what to say. However, it had to be said that this opening wasn't awkward at all. It was very lively. Tang Chuan was still the playboy from before, and Qin Ning was still the sometimes domineering and sometimes cute little girl. Ning Ning, let's stop messing around. If I tease you again, you'll really get angry. Let's be honest, I miss you a lot. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and said gently. Qin Ning felt that somewhere deep in her heart was beginning to throb. Chapter 2242. Tang Chuan's straightforward words made Qin Ning blush. So, Ning Ning, did you miss me? Tang Chuan asked. I didn't miss you. Qin Ning raised her voice guiltily. You didn't miss me? Fine, it seems like I was overthinking. When I heard that you came back, I was very excited. I even thought that you were brought back for me. But I know that's not the case. You just happened to come back for the Spring Festival. It's okay, I'm happy to see you. You're still so beautiful, I'm happy for you. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning and said word by word. Tang Chuan. Qin Ning actually had a lot of things to say to him, but when the words reached her mouth, they became hesitant. It seemed that Qin Ning lacked experience. She didn't understand the inexplicable courage needed to be in love. Seeing her hesitate again, Tang Chuan was slightly disappointed. It's good to see you. It's getting late, I'm going to go now. Have fun. Tang Chuan turned around and walked out of the hot spring. Qin Ning really wanted him to stay, but she didn't know what to say. She was so anxious that her heart was spinning. Just as she was hesitating, she suddenly felt her body warm up. Someone hugged her tightly. Then, her slightly cold lips were gently bitten by someone. Tang Chuan really wanted to leave because he realized that Qin Ning's attitude was still the same as before. He didn't know what was going on, and he hated it. He wanted to know what she was thinking. He wanted to know if he meant anything to her. Then he gathered his courage, turned around the moment he stepped out of the hot spring, and quickly swam to Qin Ning's side. Then, before she could react, he opened his arms and hugged her. Then, he kissed her again. Perhaps because of her previous experience, Qin Ning didn't break down as badly this time. At first, when she came to her senses, she subconsciously wanted to push him away. However, after 2 tries, she realized that she couldn't move him at all. Qin Ning decided to just go with the flow and stopped struggling. Tang Chuan's kiss gradually made her feel different. It was a little ticklish, as if a small fish was swimming in her heart. It was especially comfortable and warm. Gradually, not only did she stop resisting, but she even responded awkwardly. Feeling that Qin Ning was trying her best to respond to him, Tang Chuan was so excited that he almost died. He hugged Qin Ning tightly and kissed her even more passionately. The two of them kissed passionately. On the other side, the twins were extremely bored after swimming and ran over to play with their little aunt. It was quite shocking to see such a scene. Little Bean, sis, what did I see? Was it an illusion? Pudding. Absolutely not, because I saw it too. Little Bean. So, those people are Uncle Tang and Auntie Chin, right? Pudding. Yes, they are kissing. It looks like. Little Bean. It's so sudden. I'm not mentally prepared at all. What are we going to do now? Should we rush up and separate them? Pudding. We better not. Uncle Tang will hate us to death. Little Bean. Then are we just going to watch Auntie Chin suffer? Pudding. I think Auntie Chin is enjoying it. Little Bean. Sis, are you sure your analysis is correct? Pudding. Why don't you try to separate them? Little Bean. Nah, it's my first time seeing such an intimate scene up close. Oh, right, I need to record it with my phone. Pudding. Why? Little Bean. With this video, I can blackmail Uncle Tang for Haagen-Dazs. If he doesn't agree, I'll send it to second grandpa to see how other people bully his daughter. Then I'll break his legs. Pudding gave her a thumbs up. You're really unscrupulous for food. The two sisters calmly watched the scene unfold. After the kiss, Qin Ning inadvertently glanced over. When she saw the twins, she immediately collapsed. Oh my God, that's Pudding and Little Bean? Qin Ning immediately covered her face with both hands, feeling extremely embarrassed. Chapter 2243. How long have you two been peeking? Tang Chuan was very generous and did not feel embarrassed at all. You bullied our auntie behind our backs and you still dare to be so self-righteous? You're so shameless, Pudding said in a domineering tone. You think you can take advantage of our auntie just because she's dumb and innocent? Uncle Tang, you're getting more and more shameless as you get older. Pudding made a shy gesture with her fingers. Why would I be afraid of that? What's the point of being shy? I can't get a wife. Tang Chuan sighed. Qin Ning immediately reacted and pushed Tang Chuan away. Get lost. Who's your wife? Huh? You didn't hide just now. You can't turn against us just because the two little brats are here. Tang Chuan pretended to exaggerate. Pudding and Little Bean watched with great interest. Pudding, Little Bean. What you saw just now. Qin Ning paused, probably because she was too embarrassed. Don't worry, I won't tell Daddy and Mommy. Pudding reacted quickly. Good girls, Auntie didn't spoil you two for nothing. Qin Ning immediately relaxed after hearing Pudding's words. But Auntie, are you really going to date Uncle Tang? He's a big bad wolf and you're a little white rabbit. He'll eat you up? Pudding looked at her auntie worriedly. Her cute expression made people want to kiss her. Little Bean, you eat a lot of my Haagen-Dazs, right? It's okay if you don't help me at a critical moment like this. You're not a good kid, Tang Chuan reminded her. Don't worry, I never want to be a good kid. Pudding retorted. Tang Chuan, it's so cold outside. No, I have to go in and change. Qin Ning felt that kissing Tang Chuan was already embarrassing enough. Now that her two nieces had seen it, she found an excuse to run away. You have to be responsible for me. Tang Chuan shamelessly shouted behind her. Qin Ning covered her face with her hands and lowered her head. She ran as fast as she could and almost buried her head in the ground. After Qin Ning went in, Tang Chuan stood contentedly in the outdoor hot spring with his hands on his hips. Nieces, from now on, I'm your uncle. Be good, call me uncle. Tang Chuan said proudly. Pudding, many people want to be our uncle. Who do you think you are? Little Bean. That's right. Who do you think you are? Tang Chuan. Hey, you two brats, why are you so against me? I used to love you so much. I bought you so much food, drinks, and toys for you. You two need to know how to be grateful. Tang Chuan bickered with the twins. Sure, we can also buy you Haagen-Dazs to repay you. Pudding's mouth was unforgiving. Pudding, can you two still have fun with Uncle Tang? Tang Chuan was also subdued by the two little devils. We've never had fun, thank you, Pudding retorted without giving him any face. Tang Chuan wanted to cry but had no tears. Just like that, the two of them became the most beautiful scenery in the outdoor hot spring. No one thought that Tang Chuan would drive all the way to Yunding Mountain to see Qin Ning. The entire Tang family was looking for him like crazy. On the other hand, Chu, and Huamin originally planned to meet up with their family on Yunding Mountain. However, Cece's accident forced them to postpone their trip. On the way to South Side, Huamin received a call from Zhixin. Hey Zhixin, what is it? Sis, when are you and brother-in-law going to Yunding Mountain? Let's go together. Chapter 2244. Something came up over here, so we'll be there later. Zhixin, take Mom there first. I've already asked them to reserve a room for you. What happened? Zhixin was worried about his sister. Nothing, don't worry. You guys go first. Okay, sis, you have to be careful. Zhixin hung up the phone and drove his mother and luggage to the Yunding Mountain Hot Spring Resort. Huamin and Chu planned to spend New Year's there, so their family stayed in a suite on the top floor. They could soak in the hot spring and watch the snow every day. It was very relaxing and comfortable. Huamin was very excited to hear that Cece had woken up. After Cece's accident, Huamin didn't want his family to worry, so he called Su Yu and asked him to tell Cece's sister that Cece had gone abroad for a vacation and that they shouldn't worry. Otherwise, if Cece's family knew that she was like this, they probably wouldn't be able to celebrate New Year's. It was understandable how they felt. When Huamin arrived at Cece's room, Chu and Rick were both there. As Cece's chief surgeon, Chu had been carrying the responsibility of a doctor. He had been observing her condition for a long time, and it was indeed very tiring for him. Chu also had to deal with the company. Huamin's heart ached when he saw this. Sister Mian? Cece looked at Huamin and said weakly, Don't talk, Cece. You're so weak. Huamin was so scared that he immediately walked over and held her hand. How are you feeling? Huamin asked. I'm fine. Cece's face was pale. She had just woken up and was dehydrated because of severe blood loss and 48 hours of not eating. She looked exhausted. Don't worry. You just had a major surgery, so you'll recover slowly. I've already asked President Su to help you apply for leave. He said that you're going abroad with us for a vacation. Thank you, Sister Mian. Cece said with difficulty. Rick saw this from the side and his heart ached for her. Chu gave Huamin a look. Honey, come drink some tea with me. I'm thirsty. Okay. Huamin knew that Cece probably wanted to talk to Rick alone. That was why Mr. Qin was so open-minded as to take her away and give Cece and Rick some space to talk. After Chu and Huamin left, Rick walked over and crouched beside Cece's bed. Cece, I'm not dead. Are you disappointed? Cece smiled bitterly. Rick almost burst into tears again. Why do you say that? Am I that kind of man in your heart? Isn't that so? Don't you hate me and don't want to see me? Other people are still good exes and can still be friends even after they break up. There's nothing between us, but we're like enemies. Cece was full of grievances. It's not like that, Cece. You're wrong. You can't say that. Nothing happened between us. We have a lot of memories together, a lot of good memories. Then why did you abandon me? Cece questioned. I didn't abandon you. Cece, I left for your own good, really. Rick didn't want to aggravate Cece's injuries, so he tried to comfort her in the most gentle tone possible. That's such a cheap excuse. If that's what you mean by, for my own good, then I don't need you to do it for me. Chu also said that he was doing it for Huamin, so he didn't come back to see her for 4 years. I already thought he was cruel. I didn't expect you to do it for my own good too. If that's what you're doing then, I'm sorry, I don't need you to do it for my own good anymore. You should see me and contact me. I'm not afraid no matter how many disasters you bring me, even if I die in the next moment, I won't back down. But I can't stand being strangers to you. Cece started panting again when she got too excited. Frightened, Hua Jinyao immediately held her hand tightly. Cece, slow down. Calm down. Chapter 2245. Rick, you don't owe me anything. I'm just too stubborn and can't let go of our relationship. Maybe I'm forcing you. Since even death can't make us go back to square one, then let's just leave it at that. If we keep fighting, we'll both be tired. Cece shook off Rick's hand and said listlessly. Cece, don't think too much. Just focus on getting better, okay? Don't worry about me. I know you're very busy. You don't have time for me. Maybe it was because Cece was still young that she said this in a fit of pique. No, I'm not busy. No matter how busy I am, it's not as important as you. Cece, I know you don't want me to leave, so I won't leave. I'll stay with you. But if you don't leave now, it'll be Chinese New Year? Cece turned her head away from Rick's eyes. Then I'll stay and spend Chinese New Year with you. Rick seemed to have made up his mind. But only lovers spend Chinese New Year together. There's nothing between us, then we'll be in a relationship and spend Chinese New Year together. Rick didn't know how to coax girls, so he just answered whatever Cece said. Even if it was a joke, he would say it seriously. But we're not lovers anymore. We broke up more than 3 years ago. Cece pouted. Then we'll start over and date again, but I'm not that easy to woo. It's not as simple as you saying we'll be together. Cece said proudly. It's okay. I'm very patient. I'll keep going until you say yes. After Rick said those words with deep emotion, Cece suddenly felt a little excited and turned over abruptly. It hurts. Maybe she used too much force, so it hurt, the gunshot wound. Slow down. Rick was so scared that his face changed. He got up and was about to call the doctor, but Cece grabbed him tightly. Rick, do you mean what you said just now? What did I say? Rick answered seriously. Cece was so angry that she wanted to strangle him to death. Cece was exasperated. Seeing that she was really angry, Rick immediately comforted her. Of course. Don't be so agitated. Don't be angry, it'll affect your wound. Cece, I mean what I said to you. I'll get you back, okay? Then this time, will you still ditch me? Cece asked worriedly. It can't be. No matter what happens, you won't abandon me, right? Cece asked for confirmation. Yes. You swear? I swear. This time, even if I have to go through a mountain of swords and a sea of flames, even if the sky falls and the earth rends, I will never leave you again. Under Cece's coercion, Rick finally confessed his love for her. Cece felt that happiness had come too suddenly. If it weren't for the gunshot wound, Rick would probably still deny his feelings for her. I'll remember this. If you dare to break your oath, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost, okay? Rick smiled warmly and held Cece's hand tightly with both hands. I have to tell you, the nature of my job, I'm actually the mafia godfather? I know all about it. Cece was very calm. Chapter 2246. You know. Rick was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Cece to say it so casually. Sister Mion told me a little. When you were at Seductive Fox, I knew you weren't doing honest business. After all, everyone knows what kind of place Seductive Fox is. Rick, you underestimate my tolerance. I want to say that when I like you, I'll accept you no matter if you're a god or a demon. So, you're thinking too much. That's not important. Cece, I have a lot of enemies. I'm afraid that one day, someone will target you. Don't worry, I'll try not to be a burden to you. I'll stay by your side and never leave your side. If someone wants to hurt us, we'll fight it out. At worst, we'll die together. After Cece finished speaking, she finally smiled. Looking at her smile, Rick suddenly felt the emptiness in his heart slowly fill up. Maybe Cece was right. People should live a simple life. If they were afraid of wolves and tigers, they might live in fear for the rest of their lives. It was better to think in the simplest and most direct way. Cece's thoughts were extremely simple. If they liked each other, they'd like to be together. If they didn't, they'd separate. If they faced difficulties together, they'd solve them together. At worst, they'd die together. At this moment, Rick suddenly realized that he and Chin Chu had made a famous mistake. They thought they were doing it for the sake of their loved ones, but it wasn't really for their own good. After all, they weren't involved. Just like how Chin Chu left for 4 years, he thought it was for Huamin's good. But in the past 4 years, Huamian couldn't sleep well and didn't live a good life. To Huamian, having Chin Chu by her side was the best. He and Cece were the same. Because of his identity and family, he didn't want to implicate an innocent girl like Cece. But what he didn't know was that to Cece, as long as she was by his side, it was the greatest happiness. Even if it meant death. Sometimes, love could be said to be insignificant. Maybe some love couldn't withstand the test of money, let alone life and death. But some love was indeed great. Some people even spent their entire lives for love. They cherished love as much as their life. Although there weren't many girls like this, there were always some like Huamin and Cici. After almost losing Cici this time, Rick could no longer suppress his emotions. After comforting Cici for a long time and she fell asleep, Rick walked out of the room. How's she? Is she okay? Chinchu asked. Yeah. She's asleep. What's your future plans? No. Rick was Cici's heart. She was Cici's die, even if she was, T's are you? T? SSS? SCC, this thing teat, S's this was it? Bye he's, S's, and I'll never leave her again. Rick added. So are they going to make up? Huamian asked in disbelief. You could say that. You've really made up your mind? Are you? Chinchu knew what Rick was thinking, so he reminded him carefully. Compared to those things, I'm more afraid of losing her. Rick's answer was simple and direct. Huamin was slightly touched. Cici's actually very simple-minded. She simplifies a lot of complicated things. In her world, there's only black and white, right and wrong, there's no gray area. Girls like her are hard to come by. Huamian spoke up for Cici. I know. Cici's been great. I'm just afraid I'll drag her down. Rick lowered his head, feeling guilty. What about your fiancée in New Orleans? Chinchu was worried because he knew what kind of person Luna's father was. He was afraid that trouble would come. Chapter 2247. Don't worry about Luna. I didn't agree to marry her anyway. It's always been her and her father's wishful thinking. Rick had always been cold towards women. Those who knew him well would know that he would only show his rare gentleness towards Cici. He was very similar to Mr. Chin in this aspect. However, the difference was that Mr. Chin not only loved his wife, but also loved his daughter. Just as they were chatting, Chinchu's phone rang. Seeing that it was his daughter, Pudding, Chinchu wanted to let Huamin speak as well. Therefore, he turned on the speakerphone and the volume was especially loud. As soon as the call went through, he heard Pudding's clear voice on the other end. Daddy, where are you? Daddy's outside. Are you busy? Yeah, I'm busy. Chinchu's eyes were filled with love. Then, is Mommy by your side? Are you two together? Yeah, we're together. When are you guys coming to the Hot Spring Hotel to see us? Soon. We'll be there as soon as we're done. Uncle Jishin and Grandma are already here. Now it's just you two. I always thought that Daddy and Mommy are punctual people, so... Pudding didn't finish the rest of her sentence. Daddy. However, Huamin couldn't help but give Pudding a thumbs up. Her IQ and her words were too hard. Daddy and Mommy will definitely be there on time. Don't worry, Pudding, Chinchu promised again. Just then, Pudding snatched the phone away from him. Daddy, I miss you so much. This second brother, he started acting coquettishly the moment he came up. His voice was so adorable that it melted one's heart. Pudding, Daddy misses you too. Daddy, I haven't seen you and Mommy for days. I've been having insomnia. I can't sleep or eat well. I've lost 4 ounces. 4 ounces? Ah. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. The only person who could measure his weight was his adorable Miss Pudding. Mommy, why are you laughing? Do you have any compassion? Pudding immediately complained when she heard her mother's voice. Pudding, how can you lose weight? How could I not believe it? You ate so much at the Hot Spring Hotel. It would be weird if you didn't get fat. Huamin said. I really lost weight. If you don't believe me, you can ask Big Sis. Little Bean whined. Daddy. Can you come back quickly? Without you at home, my heart feels empty. It's like I'm not interested in doing anything. Oh? Is that so? I didn't know Daddy was so important to Little Bean. Mr. Chin smiled. Teasing the little girl, Rick, who was watching from the side, was really envious. Although he didn't have a child and wasn't a father yet, He could see such an expression on Qin Chu's face. That was a miracle. Of course, Daddy is the most important. What about Mommy? Huamin pretended to be jealous. Mommy is a little worse than Daddy, because Mommy has a bad temper. Comparatively speaking, she's not as calm as Daddy. Little Bean's comment almost made the three adults burst out laughing. But, Little Bean, remember this? Huamin said deliberately with a smile. So, Daddy, can you come back now? I want to eat Suji's hibiscus cake and osmanthus cake. Little Bean finally got to the point. But Daddy, how many hours will it take to drive there? Qin Chu looked at his watch. Chapter 2248. I still want to eat it. They don't sell it here, but I really want to eat it. Little Bean said pitifully. Pudding chimed in, yes, Daddy. Little Bean was in a bad mood this morning and Grandpa and Grandma couldn't calm her down. She said she dreamed of hibiscus cakes last night. Do you want to buy some now? Sure, wait for me. I'll go buy some right away. Qin Chu didn't hesitate. He immediately agreed to help the twins. Honey, don't you still have unfinished documents at the company? Huamin was surprised. Don't I still have you? Honey, you stay here and observe Cici for a while. If she's fine, you can go back to the company and then drive straight to the hot spring hotel, Qin Chu instructed. What about you? I'm going to buy some hibiscus cakes now. You're really going? Huamin thought that Qin Chu spoiled the twins too much. It was a few hundred kilometers away from Yunding Mountain. Was it really a good idea to go through so much trouble just to buy snacks for the kids? However, Mr. Qin had already left to carry out his orders. Before he left, he said to Rick, Cici can't leave the hospital right now. If you stay for the new year, you'll probably have to stay in the hospital too. Call me if you need anything. Rick nodded. Qin Chu took his car keys and left. Huamin was speechless. Qin Chu is so good to the twins. Rick couldn't help but exclaim. I'm so jealous. Huamin was jealous. Then he shamelessly posted a WeChat message on his WeChat friend circle. It was a picture of Qin Chu's back view. It said, this man just went to buy pastries for someone else's wife. I'm so angry. As soon as the message was sent, everyone exploded. Zhu Lingling, what's going on? Did Mr. Qin cheat? Huamin replied to Zhu Lingling. He came out of the closet? Jixin, sis, what's going on? Huamin replied to Jixin, nothing. Gao ran, looks like there's going to be a family war. Tang Chuan, haha, get a stool and sit down to watch the show. The front row sells mineral water, drinks, and popcorn. Huamin replied to Tang Chuan, I'll talk to Ning Ning about young Master Tang's love history later. Tang Chuan, no. I was wrong. Sister-in-law, I was really wrong. Huamin replied to Tang Chuan, I'm not your sister-in-law yet. Please watch your words. Wei Liao, it's so lively today. Everyone came out to get some fresh air. Jiang Xiaowei, you guys are really stupid. What she said was obvious. She was referring to Pudding and Little Bean, okay? Other than his own daughter, who else would Mr. Qin treat so well? Everyone was commenting happily below the post. At this time, Suyu called. Hello. Huamin, did you go to the hot spring hotel for Chinese New Year? Suyu asked. Not yet. I'm still at Southside. Oh, wait for me. I'll come to you. What's up? Huamin knew that Suyu wouldn't come to him for no reason. I have something for you. Then, before Huamin could reply, Suyu hung up. Inside the Yunding Mountain Hot Spring Hotel, the twins and Tang Chuan were resting in the hotel's upstairs cafe. Auntie, how was my performance? Little Bean looked at Qin Ning with a smile. It was great. So you lost. Give me the money. Little Bean reached out her chubby little hand. Qin Ning had just made a bet with her auntie that she would call her dad and ask him to come to the hotel immediately. However, the twins called right away and Qin Ning lost the bet. Niece, you're so business-minded. Qin Ning exclaimed as she took out her wallet. Tang Chuan quickly took out 1,000 yuan and put it on the table. Ning Ning, I'll pay for you. Why? Qin Ning looked at Tang Chuan from the corner of her eyes. Because you're my wife. Tang Chuan said smoothly. Qin Ning's face immediately turned red. The twins looked at Tang Chuan and then at their aunt with that look in their eyes. What's going on? Did you two sleep together? Little Bean looked at the two of them seriously. Chapter 2249. Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. Qin Ning was so embarrassed that she was about to explode. His two nieces' habit of not giving up until they said something shocking was really inherited from their brother Qin Chu's fine tradition. I want to sleep with her, but your auntie won't let me. Tang Chuan smiled wickedly. Qin Ning was so angry that she slapped Tang Chuan's shoulder. Auntie, you know how to flirt now? Pudding glanced at Qin Ning calmly. Qin Ning, is it because I can't explain myself no matter what I do? Qin Ning felt wronged. You two kissed in the outdoor hot spring. What's there to explain? I'm going to talk to Daddy and Mommy when they come back. Little Bean purposely lowered her head and mumbled. Qin Ning was scared out of her wits. Little Bean, does Auntie love you? Qin Ning asked. Yes, she does. Then why did you betray Auntie? Betray? Why do I feel like Auntie is being bullied? That's why I want to tell Daddy and Mommy to help you. Little Bean's mouth was not going to let Qin Ning off easily. Listen to me, Little Bean. Auntie isn't being bullied. Qin Ning explained patiently. So you did it willingly? So, do you like Uncle Tang too? Little Bean asked the key question again. To be honest, when Tang Chuan heard this, he was really excited. He really wanted to hear it from Qin Ning's mouth. He didn't expect Little Bean to be so dumb, cute, and dumb. However, she was still so sharp-tongued at critical moments. Little Bean. Qin Ning's face turned red again. Please answer my question, Auntie. If you admit that you did it willingly, then I won't tell anyone. Otherwise, I'll pretend that you were being bullied and tell Daddy and Mommy to help you. Little Bean threw out a difficult problem. Pudding glanced at Tang Chuan and asked in a low voice, when did you bribe this foodie? Why is she helping you like this? Hee, this is our secret. Tang Chuan smiled proudly. In the end, Qin Ning admitted defeat. Listen to me, Pudding. I was willing to do this, but okay, I understand. We're all adults. I won't disturb you guys anymore. Sis, let's go see if Grandpa and Grandma are hungry. We'll take them to eat Cantonese food. Then, Little Bean held Pudding's hand and walked out. Qin Ning's heart was about to break down, and they're all adults? Those two were clearly little brats, all right? Ning Ning. After the twins left, Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning affectionately. Qin Ning gritted her teeth and said, Tang Chuan, don't misunderstand. I was afraid that Little Bean would tell my brother and sister-in-law. That's why I deliberately misled them. I didn't mean what I said. Do you understand? I know. Tang Chuan smiled. You're still laughing? Qin Ning was a little angry. She had just been bullied by her niece, but this idiot didn't come to help her. What else? Do you want me to continue kissing you? It's freezing outside. I think it's faster to hug each other. Don't you agree? Tang Chuan walked up to Qin Ning and tried to hug her. However, Qin Ning kicked him away. Go away. Don't touch me. She had already been taken advantage of today. The twins walked out and started a highly intelligent conversation. Little Bean, sis, how was my performance just now? Pudding, seriously exceeded your usual IQ. It was like you were cheating. Little Bean, damn, are you complimenting me or insulting me? Chapter 2250. Pudding, guess. Little Bean, I'm too lazy to guess. Pudding, Little Bean, sis, do you think there's something going on between Uncle Tang and Auntie? Pudding, I don't know if there's anything going on between them, but I know that you just interrogated Auntie and got the answer Uncle Tang wanted. So, can you tell me what kind of deal you made with Uncle Tang? Why are you working with him? Little Bean, working with him is overboard. It's not like I'm betraying Auntie. Pudding, cut the crap. What did Uncle Tang give you? Little Bean, there's nothing good this time. Sis, I'm really tired of seeing them like that. Auntie, too, clearly has someone in her heart, but she won't admit it. Pudding, how do you know Auntie likes him? Which eye of yours saw that? Little Bean, gosh. Sis, can you stop testing my IQ? Although my IQ isn't as high as yours, my EQ isn't lower than yours. Mommy invited Auntie to come back for the new year, but she said she might not have time. Don't you think it's strange that she suddenly came back? Plus, with Auntie's temper, if someone forced a kiss on her and she didn't like it, she would have drowned Uncle Tang in the hot spring just now. After all, Grandpa Chin said Auntie was a high-level taekwondo fighter, but she didn't. What does that mean? It means she has someone in her heart. Uncle Tang is an experienced flirt, but it's all an act. Handsome Sue said that Uncle Tang was hurt by love before, but he's still very soft and pure. Those women are all for show. So, when it comes to flirting, he doesn't have much experience. The two of them were stuck like that, and I felt annoyed just watching them, so I decided to help them. Pudding, at this moment, you're like a Buddha. Little Bean, ha. Sis, I'm embarrassed by your high praise. Pudding, so, can you tell me now? What did Uncle Tang give you? Little Bean, ahem. Sis, is it really okay for you to expose me like this? Pudding, what? Little Bean, an AI robot. Pudding, damn. Isn't that the one that Tang Corporation listed on the overseas market this year? I heard it's an AI robot butler. That's the best technology. Little Bean, yeah, I just casually mentioned it and he gave it to me. Pudding, I'll give you a robot worth more than 1 million as a gift. You're so proud. Little Bean, if it weren't for the fact that the technology isn't mature enough and it hasn't been sold globally, do you think I would want it? The problem is that it's not even available now. But I really like it. I even named it Whitey. This was because the two ladies liked a Disney animation called Super Marines. There was a divine artifact robot butler in the movie called Dubai. It was especially warm, so Little Bean became obsessed with robots from then on. There were many robots in the house. However, this was the first time there were more than 1 million robots. Uncle Tang really put in a lot of effort this time. Pudding exclaimed with a smile. That's for sure. Auntie isn't that easy to woo. While the two ladies were singing the same tune, Tang Chuan and Qi Ning were still bickering and chatting in the cafe. Qi Ning suddenly felt that with Tang Chuan here, her boring life suddenly became much more interesting. Of course, she still didn't know that this was the feeling of liking someone. She thought that it was just because everyone was familiar with each other. After answering the phone, Huamin waited for Su Yu in the office at South Side. Soon, Su Yu arrived in his flashy Lamborghini. Huamin, come downstairs, Su Yu said on WeChat. Huamin immediately put on his jacket and went downstairs. When he reached the door, he was stunned. Chapter 2251. What are you doing? Huamin thought that since it was almost New Year, so you must have bought some food for the twins so that they could bring it back to the hot spring hotel. However, he realized that it wasn't as simple as just food. Behind the black Lamborghini was a white mid-sized pickup truck. There were a lot of big boxes in the truck. These are New Year goodies for you guys. Su Yu answered calmly. What year are we in now? Bro, do you really need to buy New Year goodies like this? What do you need? The supermarket has it, okay? The hotel also has everything prepared. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The supermarket won't sell these things, and neither will the hotel. Su Yu answered with certainty. For example? Huamin tilted his head and looked at him. I've prepared 6 boxes of crabs for you. 6 different types of crabs that you don't have a foodie for. I'm afraid that you'll freeze to death, so I put them in the freezer. You have to hurry up and eat them. There's also pudding and pudding's favorite ice creams, pastries, and candies. There's Russian 7-colored tiramisu, Turkish sourdough, and special Hawaiian nuts. Anyway, these are all things that you can't buy. Okay, you win. Huamin couldn't help but admire Su Yu. How did he get a truck full of New Year goodies? They were all specialties from all over the world. Most importantly, he still remembered that Huamin loved crabs. Then don't just stand there. When you drive back to the hotel, you can drive in front and I'll have the truck follow behind you. Oh, and we'll drive behind you to protect you guys. No need, right? It's just New Year's, is it necessary? Huamin chuckled. I just video chatted with Pudding. She said that Chin Chu went back early. I'm afraid that you'll be in danger if you're alone. Su Yu looked at Huamin seriously, his eyes full of tenderness. Mr. Qin already arranged for someone to protect me. I don't need an, it's too troublesome. He needs to go home for the new year. Huamin politely declined Su Yu's request for An's protection. Well, in short, you're not going back alone. I'm relieved. Su Yu nodded. I'll accept the New Year goods. I won't stand on ceremony. Huamin smiled brightly. Yes, it was prepared for you. You're welcome. Tell Lord Su that we will come back on the second day of the first lunar month to give him a New Year's greeting. Ask him to prepare a red packet. Huamin joked. Of course, the red packet was prepared half a year ago. My old man only has eyes for the twins. Su Yu pretended to be jealous. Oh, right, how's that girl named Cece? Is it serious? Su Yu thought about Cece's injury. She's fine. Her life is no longer in danger. Have you contacted her family? Huamin asked. Su Yu nodded. I did. Maybe it's because I'm the one who said it, so it's more believable. I called Nye Lingxian. That's good. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'm leaving. Wait. Huamin hurriedly stopped him. Su Yu immediately turned around. Thank you, Lord Su. Huamin thanked him sincerely. Don't mention it. Su Yu laughed heartily. Then I'll see you on the second day of the first lunar month. By the way, I'll arrange Anai Yang's wedding. If you have any ideas or requests, feel free to contact me. After all, he's an employee of your company. This wedding is also a grand occasion for Imperial Star. I know. I'll leave it to you. Just do whatever you want. Su Yu waved his hand and left South Side. Watching this majestic man drive away in his black Lamborghini, Su Yu felt a little guilty. Huamin looked at the sincere New Year's gifts and felt guilty. She had never wronged anyone in her life, whether it was her parents, her children, or her lover. The only person she had wronged was this man. She was afraid that she would never be able to repay Su Yu's kindness in this lifetime. Before Huamin left South Side, he went to see Cece again. Sister Mian, you're here. Cece looked a lot better and was able to sit up against the headboard. Rick was peeling an apple with a fruit knife. It was a heartwarming scene. Chapter 2252. Cece, don't worry. Mr. Qin and I plan to go back to the Hot Spring Hotel to meet up with our family. After 3 days of injections, you can be discharged. I've reserved a suite for you guys at the hotel. You and Rick can go to the hotel to meet us. Anai Yang is getting married on the 8th day of the Chinese New Year. Okay, thank you, Sister Mian. You're welcome. Call me if you need anything. Just focus on your recovery and don't think about anything else. Stay in a good mood, Huamin reminded her again. Cece nodded. Huamin glanced at Rick. You won't leave her here alone, right? No, Rick said with a straight face. Take good care of Cece. Call me anytime. Then, Huamin packed up and drove to the company to help Qin Chu with some documents. Then, he went back to South Hill Manor to pick up some things. Then, he left Sea City with the New Year goodies that Su Yu bought for him and his bodyguards. He headed to the Hot Spring Hotel to meet up with his family. South Side VIP room, have an apple. Rick handed it to her. I don't want one. Apples are good for you. What's good for me? Cece looked up at Rick. Rick thought hard for a while and said with a straight face, You'll be fair. Cece burst out laughing. So you're saying that the reason why those people are so tanned is because they haven't eaten apples? Then, Africans have never eaten an apple in their lives? Rick, okay. I'll stop teasing you. Cece took the apple and took a bite. To be honest, Rick really didn't know how to take care of people, let alone patients and women. The first time he took care of Cece, the two of them had a lot of funny stories. Huamin was worried that Qin Chu should find a caregiver because Rick didn't look professional. However, Rick was worried and insisted on taking care of Cece himself. Cece didn't want to leave him either. I want to watch TV, Cece said as she ate the apple. Rick turned on the television and silently switched to the children's channel. He found Boonie Bears. I don't want Boonie Bears. I like to watch Peppa Pig now. Cece pouted. Rick. Although the hospital was Cece's least favorite place, she felt that this was the happiest day of her life because Rick was here with her. It was simply impossible for Rick to bring his subordinates to stay in the Southern District. The entire European and American markets were in a mess. No one could find the godfather of the underworld. No one would have thought that he was hiding in a hospital in a city, accompanying his little girlfriend, living a life of daily necessities, living a life of luxury. In the blink of an eye, it was New Year's Eve. The hotel had prepared a New Year's Eve dinner. Everyone was in the restaurant, watching the Spring Festival Gala live broadcast on a huge screen. Then, the young people all took out their phones and sent all kinds of red packets and snatched red packets. Huamin gave Su Yu 8 red packets of 188 yuan each. Each red packet had a word written on it. There were a total of 8 words. The New Year, great luck and great success. Is this the legendary reign of red packets? Su Yu replied with a smile. Lord Su, Happy New Year. Huamin sent Su Yu a red packet first because she wanted to thank him the most. Same to you, Vice Director Hua, Su Yu replied. Sir, it's almost time. The dumplings will be ready soon. Can we set off the fireworks now? The restaurant manager walked over and asked Qin Chu carefully. Sure, Mr. Qin said coolly. 10 seconds later, fireworks bloomed outside the hotel. The twins were still kids after all. Seeing the sky full of fireworks, they were so excited that they jumped up and ran to the observation deck. Wow, it's so beautiful! Little Bean and Pudding exclaimed. Honey, is there something on your mind? Qin Chu noticed that Huamin was a little distracted. Honey. Huamin looked up at Qin Chu, wanting to say something but hesitated. I know who you're thinking about. Qin Chu put his arm around her shoulders and comforted her. Then, Qin Chu put his hand on Huamin's shoulder and pointed at the entrance of the restaurant. Honey, look over there. Huamin looked in the direction of Qin Chu's finger. Instantly, tears welled up in her eyes. Chapter 2253. A girl in a black trench coat stood at the door. She was beautiful and had dimples on her face. When Huamin saw her, he almost cried, Yan. Huamin felt his voice tremble. Come on, give me a hug. Lu Yan ran over and gave Huamin a bear hug. The two sisters had only met a few times, but Lu Yan's scent was familiar to Huamin. Perhaps this was the tacit understanding between blood-related sisters. Because of Lu Yan's status, Qin Chu asked Qin Ning to bring her parents, Huamin's mother, and his brother to another private room to watch the New Year's Gala. Qin Chu, Huamin, and the twins stayed in a private room to eat with Lu Yan. Yan, why are you? Lu Yan's arrival was so sudden that Huamin was not prepared for it. This was a big surprise. I was going to come with my dad, but he's a stubborn person. He thought that if I came with him and got caught by that big psycho Ian, I'd be dead meat. So, even though I really wanted to come, I didn't. But it's okay, next year, I'll drag my dad here to accompany you. Lu Yan's tone was always domineering. Maybe it had something to do with her personality or her profession, but she was the kind of woman with a strong aura. I'm happy that you're here, but won't you be in danger if you come alone? Don't put yourself in danger just to keep me company. Huamian was always worried about Lu Yan and worried about her. I didn't come alone. If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten. Then, Lu Yan turned around and yelled at the person at the door, Psycho Qiao, come here, I'll introduce you to my sister. Lu Yan's call of Psycho Qiao attracted everyone's attention. Huamin looked up and saw a man with short silver hair standing at the door. He looked very young, wearing a dark blue Russian-style military uniform, standing there with a straight face. The man's face was expressionless, but his eyes were unusually good-looking. He looked a bit like a character from an anime. Wow, that guy is so handsome. Little Bean exclaimed as she held the tiramisu in her hand. This is the first time I've seen someone like him. His aura is so cold, even colder than Daddy's. Pudding agreed with her sister. Hearing Lu Yan's words, the man walked over slowly. Sister, brother-in-law? Qiao Fei nodded politely. This is... Huamin didn't know much about Lu Yan and her dad. However, Qin Chu knew a thing or two about it because he had operated on Xiao Fei in Moscow and removed the bullet. Xiao Fei. Lu Yen introduced him with a smile. Oh, I remember now. He's your boyfriend, right? Huamin suddenly remembered that Xiao Yan had a boyfriend in Russia. He seemed to be very powerful. Sister, I'm not her boyfriend. I'm her fiancé. Xiao Fei corrected her with a straight face. Huamin, hey, why are you so stubborn? If he's your boyfriend, then he's your fiancé. Why are you so serious with my sister? Lu Yen pinched Xiao Fei. They're completely different. Boyfriend means we're in a relationship and our relationship isn't stable yet. Fiancé means we're about to get married and only need a wedding. Xiao Fei explained. Chapter 2254. My bad. Yes, he's fiancé. Are you guys getting married? Huamin thought that his sister was still young and couldn't be getting married so soon. No, sis, don't listen to him. We don't have plans for a wedding yet. How can we call ourselves a family if we don't get rid of Ian? Lu Yen sighed slightly. Huamin heard Ian's name again. A man that even a fugitive like Yen had to be careful of must be a ruthless character, right? Everyone, sit down, don't just stand there. Qin Chu said. Then, the four of them sat down. The twins were no longer in the mood to watch the fireworks. They ran over to Huamin and Qin Chu and peeked at Lu Yen. Mommy, this auntie came to our house last time. Pudding always had a good memory. Pudding, you still remember me? Lu Yen was overjoyed. Auntie, don't you remember me as Pudding? Lu Yen smiled and picked up Pudding, who was closest to her, with great strength. Pudding, call me Auntie. Auntie, Happy New Year. Pudding, who was always arrogant, called her Auntie obediently. Pudding was second only to Pudding. Lu Yen took out a red envelope from her bag and stuffed it into Pudding's hand. Take it. It looks pretty thin. Auntie, you're a little stingy. Is there only 100 yuan in it? Pudding, who was used to receiving red envelopes with cash, felt the envelope and knew that there wasn't much inside. In fact, there was only one red envelope. The biggest currency in China was 100 yuan. Even in US dollars, 100 yuan was only 600 yuan. Pudding thought that this auntie wasn't an ordinary person and wouldn't be so stingy. Lu Yen put down Pudding calmly and waved at Pudding. Pudding, come here. Do you want a red envelope? Yes. Check it out. I'll take it even if it's 100 yuan. I can buy ice cream with 100 yuan. Little Bean climbed down from Qin Chu's lap and ran into Lu Yan's arms. Before Lu Yan could say anything, Pudding kissed Lu Yan's cheek. Happy New Year, on it. Good luck. Good fortune. Pudding and Little Bean both thought that such a New Year's greeting sounded stupid. But he still had to say it. After all, adults like to hear it. Lu Yen took out another red envelope and stuffed it into Little Bean's hand. It was also very thin, like Pudding's. Open it and see. Lu Yen smiled mysteriously. Little Bean and Pudding looked at each other and slowly opened the red envelope. The international check. Because Huamin and Qin Chu often used it, the two little guys knew what it was. 8 million. Pudding was also dumbfounded. Huamin was shocked and immediately scolded, quickly take it back to Auntie. You're not allowed to take it. Huamin thought Lu Yen would only give the kids a red packet of 800 to 1,000 yuan or 10,000 US dollars at most. The last time they went to America, Qin Ning had prepared 1,000 US dollars. Even Huamin thought it was too much. After all, they were only 3 years old and didn't have a strong sense of control over money. Although Pudding liked to invest in stocks, she was only in charge of controlling them and couldn't withdraw the money. Sis, it's for the kids. Don't be so polite with me. I'm not being polite. It's too much. That's 8 million yuan. The two kids are more than 10 million yuan. Are you crazy? Huamin strongly objected. Take it, sis. Lu Yen is very rich. Xiao Fei said quietly. Chapter 2255. Damn it. If I spent all my money, I'd definitely ask you for more. You're just a bystander. Lu Yen turned her head and scolded Xiao Fei. No problem. If you marry me, All my money will be yours. Xiao Fei was ready to force her to marry him. Lu Yen was speechless. Sis, this is a token of my sincerity. Even though Psycho Qiao accidentally revealed my financial situation, he wasn't wrong. I am indeed very rich. This is a token of my sincerity for the babies. Ticket? What's the point of letting them study abroad? Auntie, this money is enough for us to study on the moon. Pudding exclaimed. That's right. We'll go there on a rocket and come back on a rocket? Bayu. Pudding imitated the action of a rocket. It made the adults laugh. During dinner, Qin Chu raised his glass and said, "Thank you for coming to celebrate Chinese New Year with us. Your sister is in a good mood today, don't mention it. Brother-in-law, we're family." Lu Yen smiled. "Brother-in-law, I heard that the surgery you performed on me was very difficult. Thank you for your hard work." Xiao Fei respected Qin Chu very much. He grew up in a military family and was the king of Russia. He was also a tyrant internationally. Xiao Fei had never been afraid of him. Other than Lu Yen, he admired Qin Chu the most. If it weren't for Qin Chu, he would have been a corpse by now. "We're family. You guys must have come a long way." More. Qin Chu's wish was to secretly help Huamin find his family. Now that Lu Yen was here, he was slowly helping her realize her wish. In Xiao Fei, the Huamin was very enthusiastic and kept putting food on Lu Yan's plate. It was obvious that she was very happy. The four of them drank 6 or 7 bottles of red wine. Lu Yan's alcohol tolerance was high enough that she wouldn't get drunk. Xiao Fei was born in Russia, so he was also a wine god. On the other hand, Qin Chu and Huamin were a little tipsy. After the four of them finished eating, they walked to the observation deck. The fireworks outside were still going off. Looking at such a gorgeous night, Huamin suddenly felt like he was dreaming. Qin Chu took Xiao Fei to the other side. The two men had a lot to talk about. Qin Chu knew that he would need the Qiao family's help if he wanted to deal with Ian and Huasiqian. The twins went to another room and kowtowed to their grandparents to ask for red packets. Huamin and Lu Yen stood alone on the balcony. Leaning against the railing, they looked at the mesmerizing night sky. Huamin suddenly grabbed Lu Yan's hand tightly. "Sis?" Lu Yen was touched. "Yen, I feel like I'm in a dream. It's so unreal. I've been restless the whole day. Every festive season, I miss my family. I suddenly miss your dad so much. I really want you guys to be by my side." "Me too. All these years, ever since I found out that I had a sister, I've been trying to find ways to see you. If it wasn't for that damn Ian, Dad would have come. Actually, Dad and I haven't spent the new year together for years. It's extremely difficult to even see each other. Dad has a lot of things to do, and most of the time, he's hiding in the lab and refusing to come out. I've traveled all over the world by myself and seen different things." Lu Yen looked into the distance and said word by word. "Yen, it's so good to see you." Huamin hugged Lu Yan's shoulder tightly. Chapter 2256. The two sisters loved each other dearly. Ever since Huamin found out about Lu Yan's existence, he had been thinking about her. He even dreamed of living a simple and peaceful life with Lu Yan. Like all the other sisters in the world, they could go shopping, eat, watch movies, drink tea, travel, etc. "Sis, as long as I'm alive, I'll protect you forever. Because I'm strong, I have to protect the people I love the most. You and Dad are the most important people in my heart, and so are the twins. I won't let anyone hurt you," Lu Yen said quietly. "Yen, have you thought about it? Can't you be an employee for the rest of your life? When do you want to leave that world?" Huamin asked softly. Lu Yan's eyes dimmed slightly. "Sis, I've never liked this industry, this world, but I can't help it. In this world, a lot of things don't go the way you want them to. I've been tired for a long time. I have a lot of money, a lot of excellent subordinates, a lot of loyal friends, and Psycho Qiao is loyal to me, but as long as Ian isn't dead, I can't leave. He chased after me and Dad for so many years, and he refused to let go. Maybe everything will only end when Dad and I die. It's the new year, don't say such inauspicious things." Huamin immediately interrupted Lu Yen. Anyway, you don't have to worry. Ian's death is the end of everything. When Ian dies, everything will end, and we'll go find Mom. Then, our family will be together forever. Sis, let me tell you, I've saved up a lot of US dollars, gold bars, diamonds, and antiques. That money is enough for us to spend for a few lifetimes. I also have a private island in the South Pacific. It's like spring there all year round. It's my home base. You guys can go there with me, and we'll live a peaceful life. Okay. Huamin nodded. Lu Yen described a very idealistic life, but Huamin knew that reality was very realistic. Dreams were plentiful, but reality was bony. In front of these beautiful lives, there were unknown difficulties and bumps. One Ian might be able to destroy all of them. About Ian, the Nalo brothers, the terrorist organization, and their relationship with Huasiqian. Huamin knew very little, but she knew that these were things that she might have to face in the future. She wouldn't let Xiaoyan and her father face those things while she hid and enjoyed the peace they had fought for with their lives. At midnight, the waiter served the cooked dumplings. According to the rules of the North, the dumplings had to contain a gold coin. No matter how many people there were in the house, only one would be placed. They wanted to see who was the most fortunate one. Both adults and children would look forward to it. It had been many years since Qiao Fei and Lu Yen had eaten dumplings that tasted so traditional. Little Bean ate 4 in a row and was already full. However, she didn't want to give up and continued eating because she didn't get any gold coins. Pudding was in a good mood. She ate 3 and stopped eating after she was full. She took out her phone and sent a WeChat message to Su Yu to wish him a Happy New Year. At this moment, Huamin suddenly felt something pressing against his teeth. After frowning slightly, she spat out a gold coin. It landed on the dining table with a clang. Mommy got it again. It's so weird. Little Bean pouted, unwilling to accept it. Why again? Does your mommy get the lottery every year? Lu Yen pinched Little Bean's face with a smile. Chapter 2257. That's right. Every year it's Mommy? Oh my God, I'm not convinced. Mommy, are you cheating? Little Bean looked at Huamin with dissatisfaction. Huamin asked innocently, how do I cheat? You wear those contact lenses that can see through things. Then you eat whichever dumpling you see has a gold coin in it? Ha, do you think Mommy is Sun Wukong? You have sharp eyes. Huamin laughed so hard that he was convulsing. Seriously, it's only been 4 years since I came to this world, and Mommy has been hogging me for the past 4 years. Little Bean was very unhappy. It means your mommy is lucky. Qin Chu comforted his daughter with a smile. Daddy, you always favor Mommy. Little Bean, it's okay. Let me tell you, you can use the 8 million to buy a lot of gold coins. Put a gold coin in each dumpling and you'll never miss. Lu Yen suggested. Little Bean, okay auntie, you win. Little Bean thought she was a weirdo, but her auntie was even weirder than them. Just then, the ending song of the Spring Festival Gala was playing on the TV. The stars sang Loving Family. Look, is that Uncle and I Yang? Little Bean's attention was immediately attracted by the people on the TV. Pudding stopped playing with her phone and looked up at the TV. Ni Yang took the lead in singing Loving Family. The lyrics were warm and touching. It was the first time Lu Yen had watched a boring gala so attentively. Ni Yang's voice was very pleasant to the ears and was very recognizable. So when he opened his mouth, everyone was stunned. I like the warm lights waiting for me when I come home. I like the smiles on everyone's faces when I wake up. I like to work hard for my family and my dreams when I leave the house. I like being a family, looking in one direction with my heart. Huamin instantly resonated with the song and started singing along unconsciously. Because we are a family that loves each other. We should share our blessings and share our misfortunes. We should exchange our friendship for eternity. When Huamin finished listening to the song, he turned around and found that Lu Yen and Qiao Fei were gone. Where's Yen? Huamin stood up in a panic. Qin Chu immediately came over and hugged her to comfort her. They just left. They didn't dare to say goodbye to you. They were afraid that you would cry. Hearing that Lu Yen had left, Huamin burst into tears. Like a child, Lu Yan doesn't feel good about it either. But you know they had no choice. It's already very risky for them to enter the country together. The helicopter is waiting for them outside. I know. I just can't bear to. Huamin sobbed as he spoke. His voice was choked with sobs. I promise you that I'll find a way to solve this as soon as possible. In the future, Lu Yan and the professor can come and see you whenever they want, okay? Qin Chu comforted Huamin patiently as if he was talking to a child. Mommy, don't cry. And he said, she'll come and see us again. Little Bean comforted her. Mommy, when we have time, we'll go to Russia to see Auntie. Pudding also held onto Huamin's hand. Huamin tried to suppress the sadness in her heart and wiped away her tears. She looked at the time on her phone. It was already past midnight. The twins looked tired. Honey, take the girls back to bed. I'll clean up and come to you guys in a bit. Get ready. Okay. Huamin nodded and went to the dressing room to wash her face. Qin Chu took the twins to bed. Her phone kept ringing with red packets from her friends and the lucky ones from the group chat. But at this moment, Huamin was in no mood. For the first time, she wanted Lu Yan to stay so badly. Chapter 2258. She didn't expect that when she left, she didn't even have time to say goodbye to her. Lu Yan and Xiao Fei left as quickly as they came. Other than Qin Chu and his family, no one else saw them. It was as if it was really a dream. 20 minutes later, Huamin washed his face and removed his makeup. Then he walked out in a bathrobe. He had a glass of red wine in his hand. He saw Zhixin coming back from watching the fireworks. Sis, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Sis, what's wrong? Your eyes are red. Did someone bully you? No one. Did my nieces make you angry again? Zhixin asked worriedly. No, it's just that I'm old and think a lot. I always think about the unhappy things in the past. Huamin found an excuse and didn't mention Lu Yan. After all, Zhixin didn't know about his sister's identity. Sis, you scared me to death. I thought something was wrong. Let's go, I'll drink with you. Before Huamin could say anything, Zhixin pulled Huamin to the observation deck and poured himself a glass of red wine. He was in such a good mood. Sis, this is for you. Zhixin handed over a small black box. What's this? Huamin picked up the box curiously. Last time, the company sent me to South Africa on a business trip. I bought it on the way. They produce diamonds and the quality is pretty good, so I bought one for you. Huamin put down the wine glass in his hand and opened it to see a diamond brooch. It was in the shape of a plum blossom. Each petal was decorated with a sparkling diamond. Oh my God, you're rich. Where did you get so much money? Huamin was surprised. It's not that expensive, only a few $100,000. My year-end bonus for the second half of the year is over $200,000. Sis, don't underestimate me. Zhixin smiled as he picked up the wine glass and took a sip. Huamin was touched. He picked up the brooch and pinned it on his bathrobe. This New Year's gift is very good. I like it very much. Huamin smiled. Sis, thank you for everything you've done for our family all these years. I'll always love you and the twins. What about your brother-in-law? Huamin asked jokingly. At the mention of Qin Chu, Zhixin's gaze became unnatural. Sis, you really love my brother-in-law, don't you? Zhixin asked in all seriousness. If I didn't love him, how could I marry him and give birth to 2 kids for him? Huamin laughed, thinking that Zhixin's question was meaningless. Then, and I'm saying if one day you find out that my brother-in-law betrayed you, what would you do? Zhixin asked again. Betray me? I've never thought about this before. What's wrong? Did you find out that your brother-in-law has a mistress? Huamin deliberately asked him with a smile. Sis, don't be so cheeky. I'm serious. Why do you have to be so serious about something that can't happen? Huamin disagreed. Are you that confident in my brother-in-law? I'm saying, what if he disappoints you? What if he's hiding something from you? Zhixin looked at his sister nervously. Zhixin, did you find out something? Finally, Huamin stopped smiling and looked at Jixin with all seriousness. This was because her younger brother had never been a person who was willing to worry and think too much. So, he must have found something since he kept bringing it up. The truth is, I don't know how to say it. I've been keeping it to myself for a long time. I don't want to affect your relationship with my brother-in-law. If I don't say it, you'll be sad. Jixin lowered his head, conflicted. Chapter 2259. It's that serious? Then all the more reason to say it. Huamin said half-jokingly. Sis, I don't even know how to say it. Stop dawdling, Jixin, you're a man, okay? Be decisive, I'm your sister. Although Huamin loved Jixin, he knew that Jixin had a weakness in his personality, and that was that he was indecisive. Whether it was in his work, personal life, he wasn't decisive enough. That was why he still hadn't won Bella's heart, and that was why Huamin had a headache. Then I'll say it, sis. Jixin carefully observed his sister's expression. Okay, say it, I can handle it. Even if you say that your brother-in-law has a mistress outside, I can still handle it. Huamin crossed his arms in front of his chest. Then he looked at Jixin and smiled. Sis, I really think that my brother-in-law has a mistress outside, right? Jixin said uncertainly. How did you know? Huamin asked calmly. Once, I woke up in the middle of the night and overheard my brother-in-law talking on the phone. The gist of it was that you can't let Huamin know about this. Also, from his expression, it seemed to be very important, and he was afraid that you would know. We all know how much my brother-in-law loves you these past few years, and he would never hide anything from you. So I'm sure. Jixin deliberately paused here. So, you're sure that Qin Chu has a mistress behind my back? Huamin asked on behalf of Jixin. Jixin nodded, his heart heavy. Huh, but your brother-in-law is with me every day. Where would he have time to have a mistress? I have all of his bank cards, and I know every single one of them. Huamin smiled disapprovingly. Sis, don't let love get to your head, okay? My brother-in-law is young, handsome, and rich. It's normal for women to have feelings for him. Plus, he's not with you every day. Jixin mumbled quietly. He comes back every night, I'm sure of that. He doesn't even go on business trips anymore. Huamin defended Qin Chu. But before he came back, you guys were separated for 4 years. Jixin couldn't help but correct him. Suddenly, Huamin fell silent. Sis, it's not that I doubt brother-in-law's character, but sometimes, people change according to their environment. Brother-in-law was in Migua for 4 years, and he traveled from city to city. How do you know that he didn't have a woman by his side? Maybe there's a story behind it. Brother-in-law is a human, not a god, and humans make mistakes. I think it's understandable if it was a one-night stand or if he couldn't control himself. After all, you guys have been married for so many years, and you've even had 2 children. But if that woman is still in contact with him, and you're still in the dark, I think it's unfair to you. After all, you love him so much. I even think that sometimes, your love for him is even greater than his love for you. You've endured these 4 years alone, and you've held on to the friendship from when you were young, ignoring Su Yu's love and care. How many women in the world can do that? Jixin, I'm not as good as you make me out to be. Plus, when it comes to love, you shouldn't care about whether it's fair or not. Your brother-in-law loves me to the core. Maybe it's because of his personality, but there are a lot of things that he doesn't say, and he puts his actions into action. I'm not an idiot, I can tell if he's sincere or not. Sis, there's something wrong with what we're saying. It's not like that. I don't doubt that brother-in-law doesn't love you, and I'm not saying that he's pretending to love you. I just think that he's hiding something from you. Plus, he called you so sneakily and stressed that he wouldn't let you know. I think there's something fishy going on here. When did you hear that? Huamin asked calmly. Chapter 2260. It's been a long time. I wanted to tell you a long time ago, but I don't know what to do. I'll regret it if I tell you, and I'll regret it if I don't. Jixin was still struggling. It's okay, I'll be careful if you tell me. Sis, why don't you ask Qin Ning? She's been in the States all this time, so she'll definitely know something. Jixin suggested. Jixin, who else did you tell about this? Does Mom know? Of course not, I wouldn't tell anyone. Plus, I don't know what happened, and I don't want to wrong my brother-in-law, so I just wanted to tell you. Okay, good. Don't tell anyone about this, I know what to do and I'll take care of it. Okay, sis, I believe you. You and Bella haven't made any progress yet? Huamin asked. Jixin scratched his head. Bella's personality. I don't want to confess, I don't want to lose her as a friend and colleague. You're not as good as Ni Yang in this aspect. Look at him, he's about to get married, but you're not even close. You can't compare, sis, Ni Yang's a celebrity. But you're still President Qin's brother-in-law. Huamin retorted. Ha, sis, you win? President Qin's brother-in-law, that's a tempting title. Jixin laughed. Okay, go to bed, it's late. After Huamin and Jixin parted ways, they went straight back to their suite. In order to improve their relationship with the twins, Qin Chu and Huamin reserved a super large suite in the hotel. The family of 4 lived together. It was warm and romantic, and there was also private space. When Huamin went back, it was already 2 in the morning. The twins were already asleep, and Qin Chu was still working at his desk. Wow, Mr. Qin, you're still working on New Year's Eve. Huamin chuckled. You're back? You must be very tired. Go take a bath and sleep. Qin Chu said, feeling sorry for Huamin. He got up and opened the bathroom door to fill the bath with hot water for Huamin. Huamian couldn't believe that Mr. Qin would do anything to betray her as she watched him run around trying to help her. She wouldn't believe him either, but Jixin wasn't someone who would lie. There was no way Mr. Qin would make up that story for no reason. That meant that Mr. Qin was indeed hiding something important from him. And it sounded like something important, Huamin analyzed calmly, but he didn't say anything. He didn't ask Qin Chu or Qin Ning, because with Qin Ning's intelligence, she would tell Qin Chu if he asked. Then it would be even more troublesome. New Year's Eve came to an end. Lu Yan's sudden return made Huamin very happy. When Lu Yan left in a hurry, Huamin was in a daze. After all these years, he finally found out about his identity and that his father and sister were still alive. But he couldn't see them whenever he wanted. It was clear that money wasn't everything. Sometimes, Huamin even thought that he didn't want his current identity and status. He just wanted to be an ordinary person. He had an ordinary but harmonious family with his husband, daughter, mother, brother, parents-in-law, father, and sister. The days after New Year's Eve flew by. Qin Chu and Huamin returned to Sea City to work. In the blink of an eye, it was the 8th day of the first lunar month. On the day of Ni Yang's wedding, everyone arrived early in the morning. Su Yu, Wei Liao, Jiang Shaowei's family, Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling's family, and Tang Chuan hadn't left this week. They flirted with Qin Ning every day. Qin Ning had planned to leave on the 3rd day of the first lunar month. But now, she didn't mention anything about going back to the States. Qin Chu and Huamin got up early to take care of the banquet and guests. Ni Yang's wedding began a few days before the new year. Look, who's here? Tang Chuan pointed at the door and made a fuss. Chapter 2261. After Tang Chuan finished speaking, everyone looked up and saw Shen Mingxi and Hui Yanyan walking in. Shen Mingxi was wearing a black slim-fit suit, while Hui Yanyan was wearing an orange evening gown with exquisite makeup on her face. One had to admit that Hui Yanyan looked good in her makeup. However, Hui Yanyan gave Huamin a sense of distance. This was the first time Huamin saw Hui Yanyan since the kidnapping. It felt like a lifetime ago. Why are they here too? Jiang Shaowei was surprised. Ever since Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying divorced, the Shen and Wei families had been on bad terms. In private, Wei Liao and Shen Mingxi's relationship wasn't as good as before, and Suyu was sometimes in a difficult position. Young Master Shen is so close to Lord Su, and Ni Yang is the big brother of Imperial Star. How can he not come? Tang Chuan interrupted. As the hosts, Qin Chu and Huamin walked up to greet them. After greeting Shen Mingxi, Huamin glanced at Hui Yanyan with a complicated expression. Yan, long time no see. Yeah, long time no see. Where are Pudding and Little Bean? Hui Yan asked with a smile. They're today's flower girls. They're preparing for the wedding. Where's Tian? Hui Min asked. Tian has piano lessons today, so she didn't come. Hui Yan's face was brimming with confidence. It was obvious that she was living a good life. Naturally, her arm was wrapped around Shenmingxi's. They looked so intimate that anyone could tell what their relationship was. After a few simple pleasantries, Hui Min welcomed them in. Shenmingxi walked over with Hui Yan and greeted Su Yu and the others. During the whole process, Wei Liao's face was very ugly. He had always been a calm person, but this time, he really didn't give him any face. Young Master Shen, how long has it been since your divorce? Are you already showing off your new bride? Wei Liao said coldly. Jiang Xiaowei also looked at her husband in surprise. She didn't expect him to say such a thing. Shen Mingxi glanced at Wei Liao with a complicated look in his eyes. It has nothing to do with how long we've been divorced. I don't think I'm showing off. Yan is my girlfriend. I can't avoid bringing her out to meet people. Mr. Wei, you don't have to think too much about it. But you're doing this just to embarrass the Wei family. How can I not think too much about it? Ying is sincere to you. If you don't like her, you don't have to marry her. Why do you have to marry her and let her down? Now you're showing off on purpose. I think young Master Shin is purposely going against the Wei family. Old Wei, you're thinking too much. Tang Chuan tried to persuade him. This is our private matter. Don't worry about it. Go do what you need to do. Wei Liao pulled a long face for the first time. Not only did he not give face to Tang Chuan, but he also didn't give face to Su Yu. His words shut Su Yu up. Su Yu seemed to understand Wei Liao's temper. He didn't say anything and just looked at him quietly. Zhu Lingling whispered into Jiang Xiaowei's ear, "Your husband is angry. This is the first time I've seen him angry." "It's the first time I've seen it, it's pretty scary." Jiang Xiaowei had been married to Wei Liao for years, and Wei Yunchu was already 4 years old, but she had never seen him so angry. It was obvious that he cared a lot about Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying. Young Master Wei, you don't have to be so harsh. Love is about mutual love. Mingxi and your sister's fate is over. Why do you have to force it? Hui Yan looked at Wei Liao and retorted. You're the mistress. You have no right to speak here. You've brought shame to the Hua family. Wei Liao looked at Hui Yan contemptuously. The word, mistress, was extremely derogatory. Hui Yan's face changed as soon as she heard it. Chapter 2262. Young Master Wei, you don't have to lower yourself to a woman's level. Don't make yourself seem petty. So petty people like to burn bridges after crossing the river and find a mistress after using the first wife, right? Wei Liao retorted. Shen Mingxi stared at Wei Liao for a while before he finally said calmly, things between me and your sister aren't as simple as you think they are. If you have the chance, you should ask her what she did in the Shen family after she got married. I won't say anything else. Today, I'm here to congratulate Lord Su. After all, it's an artist's wedding, so I don't want to cause any trouble. Excuse me, everyone. After Shen Mingxi finished speaking, he turned around and left with Hui Yan. Wei Liao was so angry that his face turned pale. Honey, are you okay? This was the first time that Jiang Xiaowei saw Wei Liao so angry. Jiang Xiaowei's heart ached. If it were someone else, she would have already gone to help her husband. Jiang Xiaowei's scolding skills were on par with Hui Min's. However, Shen Mingxi was Lord Su's buddy, and he was here for the wedding. It wouldn't be good for either of them to make things too awkward, so Jiang Xiaowei kept quiet. Honey, I'm fine. Wei Liao turned his head and looked at Jiang Xiaowei with a gentle expression. Dad, don't be angry. Wei Yunchu reached out his little hand and touched Wei Liao's face. Lord Su, I'm leaving now. Let Xiaowei stay here, I still have work to do at the company. Wei Liao suggested that he should leave first. Su Yu knew why Wei Yunchu did this, so he didn't make things difficult for him. Okay, I'll find you for a drink later. Let's talk and calm down. Su Yu patted Wei Liao's shoulder. Slightly, you and your son play here. I'll pick you up later. Okay, then drive carefully. Jiang Xiaowei also knew that her husband couldn't stay any longer, so she didn't force him to stay. When you see Huamin and Qinchu later, help me say hello. After that, Wei Liao turned around and left. Master Wei is very angry today. Gao Ran commented. Maybe you don't understand, but no matter how calm a person is, they will still feel indignant when it comes to family matters. Although my sister-in-law is arrogant and overbearing, and even I don't like her, my husband loves her very much. After all, they are blood-related siblings, and no matter what, he is better than an outsider. It's normal for him to feel uncomfortable. Maybe you don't know how much trouble my sister-in-law caused at home when she just got divorced. Jiang Xiaowei said as she bit her lip. I know, I heard that she slit her wrists and took sleeping pills. She even jumped off the second-floor rooftop of the mansion. Is that true? Tang Chuan had always been an encyclopedia in the industry, so nothing could escape his ears. Jiang Xiaowei nodded. Damn, she took sleeping pills, slit her wrists, and jumped off a building. Your sister-in-law is also a ruthless person. Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded. My sister-in-law has been spoiled since she was young. She can't get anything she wants. This time, the setback at the Shun family was a big blow to her. That's why she's acting like a crazy person. The people who are most upset by her behavior are none other than her family members. My in-laws are already mentally and physically exhausted because of her, and my husband is also worried about her. Jiang Xiaowei sighed. After Xin Mingxi and Hui Yanyan entered the venue, they ran into some business acquaintances. Shen Mingxi went over to greet them, and Hui Yanyan took some pastries to eat. After Huamin finished his work, he happened to see Hui Yanyan alone, so he walked over to her. Yanyan, he said with a serious expression. Hui Yanyan looked up and saw Huamin. She immediately put down the pastries in her hands, as if she knew what Huamin was going to say. I really didn't expect you to be a mistress. Huamin looked at Hui Yanyan in disappointment. Chapter 2263. So that's what you think of me as well. Hui Yanyan's eyes darkened. She seemed disappointed in Huamin as well. The two of them stood in a corner of the hotel. It was a quiet corner and a good place to talk. It had been a long time since Huamin saw Hui Yanyan. The truth was, Huamin wanted to talk to her as soon as she walked in. But he didn't want her and Xin Mingxi to think too much. Now was the perfect time to talk to her. Whatever grudges they had in the past, they were all resolved, especially when Hui Yanyan risked her life to save the twins. Huamin was very grateful to her. Then, after Hui Si died, Hui Yanyan disappeared. She thought Hui Yanyan hated her, but today, she didn't see any hatred in Hui Yanyan's eyes and attitude. Yanyan, what happened? Why did you choose this path? You need money, but I have it. I've already prepared a place for you and Tian, and I've even arranged a job for you. I don't think you're someone who's driven by money. Don't tell me you're with Xin Mingxi for money. I'm not with him for money, Hui Yanyan answered calmly. Then is it for revenge? Against Wei Ying? Huamin asked. A little, but not everything. Then, is it because of you? Huamin seemed to suddenly realize something. Hui Yanyan looked up at Huamin and smiled bitterly. It's funny, isn't it? I'm almost 30, and my daughter is 4 years old. How can I still believe in love? Then do you really think he's someone you can entrust your life to? You know, it's not that easy to enter the Shen family. You can't be a mistress for the rest of your life, right? How can Tian face other people in the future? Huan thought she might be a little too righteous, but she still felt that being a third party was too shameful. Mian, I'm not a mistress. I moved in with Mingxi after he got divorced. But if it weren't for you, would Xin Mingxi divorce Wei Ying? Huamin asked calmly. Hui Yanyan remained silent. Mian, not everyone is as lucky as you to have Qin Chu's protection at a young age. Mingxi treats me very well, and I don't care about his status anymore. I don't dare to dream of marriage, but it's good to be by his side all the time. Hui Yanyan lowered her head, her voice getting lower and lower, perhaps because she knew she was in the wrong. You're still young and there are many good men out there. Why do you have to be with him? I think, Not only are you involved in the Shen family and the Wei family, but you're also the scapegoat. People who don't know the truth will think you're a vixen. Plus, with Wei Ying's temper, I don't think she'll let you go. Why do you have to put yourself in danger? Huamin analyzed the situation for her. I understand what you're saying, but I can't let it go. Mian, you know how much I was obsessed with him before I got married? It's still the same now. My scumbag ex-husband came back to bully me and my daughter. He asked us for money, threw things, and even brought a bunch of hooligans to scare us. He stood up for us. My daughter and I are weak and need someone to protect us. I can't say no to his kindness, so you once again fell into your love? Hui Yanyan nodded. Okay, if that's the case, I have nothing else to say. Huamin sighed slightly. Mian, tell me the truth, do you really look down on me? Hui Yanyan looked at Huamin and asked. Chapter 2264. No, Yanyan, don't think that way. I'm just worried about your situation. Forget it, since things are already like this, we can't change anything. Anyways, remember to take good care of yourself and Tian. If you need anything, come to me. Huamin saw that Hui Yanyan had made up her mind about Shen Mingxi, so he didn't try to persuade her anymore. He just hoped that she would be careful. And my will. Yanyan. Shen Mingxi called her name from not far away. Then I'll go over now, Mian. Hui Yanyan nodded and left. Huamin walked over to Qin Chu, who was not far away. Is my wife trying to persuade her to turn over a new leaf? Qin Chu asked as he put his arm around Huamin's shoulder. Your wife isn't that great, but I don't think Yanyan should have made this choice. Okay, we're all adults and have the right to choose our own lives. Whether it's right or wrong, we have to be responsible. I understand. Huamin nodded. Good boy, don't be depressed. The wedding ceremony is coming up, and our babies are going to go on stage. How are the preparations going? The bride is putting on her makeup, and Jixin is changing. After hearing Qin Chu's words, Huamin nodded and followed Qin Chu to help with the reception. At Ni Yang's wedding, there were a lot of media outlets and even more celebrities in the industry. Huamin was relieved that Mo Shui didn't come, or else he would have been heartbroken. Inside the makeup room, Jixin, who had just changed into his best man's outfit, suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Jixin, what's wrong? Bridesmaid Qin Ning looked at him curiously. I think I have a stomachache, I need to go to the washroom, but you're going on stage soon, there's not enough time? Qin Ning frowned. However, Jixin couldn't take it anymore and ran straight to the washroom. Tang Chuan patted Qin Ning's shoulder. Don't worry. If he can't, there's still me. We're the bridesmaid and best man. What a perfect match. Go away. Qin Ning was used to Tang Chuan's playful behavior and thought he was joking. However, after waiting for about 10 minutes, Jixin still hadn't returned. Everyone, take your positions. The ceremony will begin in 3 minutes. The planner shouted into the headset. Why isn't Jixin back yet? I'm so worried. He's not coming back. He has diarrhea. How do you know he's having diarrhea? Qin Ning turned her head. Tang Chuan, okay, did you do something to it? Qin Ning pressed. I actually didn't do anything. I just gave him a cup of sausage tea. You're so despicable. Qin Ning gritted her teeth in anger. He didn't want to swap places with me and insisted on being the best man. I had no choice. You're the bridesmaid. I can't give you to someone else. Tang Chuan explained. Before Qin Ning could say anything, Qin Jie stood up. Ning, it's time for us to go in, okay? Then, Qin Ning turned around and pointed at Tang Chuan. Just you wait. I'm going to teach you a lesson. President Qin, feel free to pounce on me. Tang Chuan smirked. Chen Jie slowly walked onto the stage amidst the romantic piano music. Pudding and Little Bean wore little angel-like wedding dresses with garlands on their heads. Each of them held a small flower basket and scattered flower petals on the ground. As the bridesmaid, Qin Ning wore a long lavender dress. She followed behind the bride, holding the hem of her dress. At this moment, Chen Jie was beautiful, with a bright smile on her face. She slowly walked towards Ni Yang. With everyone's blessings, every step she took was like a halo. Sis, don't you think we look so dumb when we scatter flower petals? Little Bean whispered. Chapter 2265. Don't tease me, I'm going to laugh. Pudding tried her best to hold back her laughter. I'm not teasing you, I'm serious, okay? Then Little Bean turned her head and saw Suyu. She immediately smiled and waved her chubby little hand. Hey, handsome Sue, hey Pudding. Suyu was sitting in the front row, so he could hear Little Bean's words and interact with her. Handsome Sue, you're so handsome today. Little Bean began to flatter him. You're beautiful too. Do your best. Suyu gave Little Bean and Pudding a thumbs up. Under everyone's watchful eyes, the two little guys escorted the bride to the center of the stage. Ni Yang took the bride from Xianxia's father's hands, and they looked into each other's eyes. Does the groom have anything he wants to say to the bride? The famous host teased Ni Yang. Okay, everyone quiet down. Let's listen to the confession of the superstar groom. The host said, and the audience immediately fell silent. Countless camera flashes were focused on them, and Xianxia was very nervous. However, she still tried her best to remain calm. She couldn't believe that she was going to marry a superstar, a handsome guy that many girls would go crazy over. Ni Yang held Xianxia's hands and looked at her with tenderness in his eyes. Although Xianxia wasn't the kind of girl who was stunning at first glance, she was very beautiful today with her exquisite bridal makeup. Ni Yang felt his heart race as he looked at the woman he loved in front of him at such an important moment. He took a deep breath and held Xianxia's hand. Looking into her eyes, he enunciated each word clearly. Xie, my dear wife. From now on we're one. We're going to build a new home, a family of our own. We've been through so much together for the past 4 years. No matter when I was at my lowest point or when I was at my peak, you were always by my side. Because of your identity, you had to be sneaky with me. I didn't do all the things a girl should do. I even had to wear a mask when I went out to the movies and avoid people. But from now on, I want to announce to the world that you, Xianxia, are my wife. We don't have to hide from people anymore. We can do whatever we want. From now on, I won't let you suffer. I'll love you and take care of you. It's a long life, but I'm confident that we'll be together forever. Ni Yang's voice choked up as tears streamed down Xianxia's face. Ni Yang continued, the clouds never promise to stay in the sky, but will always be together. The stars never promise to shine in the night, but they always try to shine. I don't easily tell you how much I love you, but my true feelings will always be with you. We'll walk down the road together, and we'll face all the storms together. You'll always be my most precious thing. I won't lose you. Honey, I love you. Then, under everyone's gaze, Ni Yang held Xianxia's face in his hands and kissed her. The crowd immediately burst into thunderous applause. Everyone in the audience was touched by her performance. Huamin's eyes were wet with tears as she clapped so hard that her hands turned red. Honey, calm down. Qin Chu reminded Huamin. Chapter 2266. I can't calm down, I'm too excited. Ni Yang said it so well. It's simple but touching, Huamin praised. How romantic. Why weren't you like this when we were together? Zhu Lingling pinched Gao Ran's arm. Come on, honey, I was really touching back then too, okay? Don't bring up the past. Our kids are all grown up now, why are you picking on us? Gao Ran retorted. I don't care. You have to write me something so touching on our wedding anniversary, I want to hear it. Zhu Lingling whined. Gao Buyan couldn't take it anymore and spoke up for his father. Mommy, you're so noisy. Let's watch the wedding, okay? Zhu Lingling choked on her son's words. Gao Ran immediately gave his son a look of approval. Ever since his son learned how to talk, his life had been much better. The two of them were finally together. After kissing, the bride and groom exchanged rings. Ni Yang held Xianxia's hand, picked up the microphone and continued, on this happy day, I also want to thank someone, The audience quieted down again as they waited for Ni Yang to continue. She patiently treated my illness, comforted me, and encouraged me to walk out of my shadow. She even helped me untie the knot in my heart that had been in my heart for many years, allowing me to reunite with my mother and son. That's why we're so happy today. In terms of work and career, she's my teacher. In terms of personal life, she's my dearest family member. Although we're not related by blood, I love her as much as my own life. She's like a family member. No matter where I go, I miss her. Now, let's give her a round of applause and invite her onto the stage to say a few words. Let's welcome my beloved sister, Huomin. As soon as Huomin's name came out of his mouth, the audience erupted into thunderous applause. Su Yu glanced at Huomin proudly. It was as if he was happier than being praised. Holy shit, Mian is going to be famous today. Zhu Lingling clapped her hands. He had a private discussion with Jiang Xiaowei. Mian is so good to Ni Yang, of course she's grateful. When Ni Yang was suffering from depression, Mian stayed up all night to discuss treatment plans with me. She really did her best. Jiang Xiaowei sighed. Now that you mention it, Mian is so nice. She's such a kind girl, that's why she's so lucky, Zhu Lingling said sincerely. Go, Dr. Hu. I'm proud of you. Qin Chu patted the back of Huomin's hand to encourage her. Huomin stood up excitedly and walked onto the stage in front of the media and guests. Wow, Mommy is so charismatic today. Little Bean exclaimed from behind the bride. Mommy is always charismatic, especially when she's teaching us a lesson. Little Bean snickered. Hey, sis, don't mention it. Mommy's going to give a speech on stage. No, I have to record it. Little Bean took out her phone as she spoke. Keep it so that when you make a mistake in the future, you can use it to kiss up to her, right? Little Bean looked at her sister with disdain. Haha, Pudding knows me best. Little Bean laughed. Huomin was wearing a dark blue evening gown. Her shoulders were bare, and there was a thin veil on her back. When she walked, she was especially eye-catching. Not only did the gown show off her slim figure, but it also made her look elegant but not ostentatious. It suited Huomin's personality very well. It's too sudden, I didn't prepare for this, nor did I rehearse. Huomin picked up the microphone and smiled embarrassedly. It's okay, Mian, you can say anything. Ni Yang comforted her. Chapter 2267. Okay, then I'll say a few words. Seeing Ni Yang and Xianxia's expectant gazes, Huomin decided to be more high-profile for once. Although it didn't suit her personality, she was still very touched at an event like this. Maybe she would be even more excited when Jixin got married in the future. You can do it, honey. Mr. Qin mouthed to Huomin. She saw it all. She even gave Mr. Qin a clenched fist, looking extremely cute. Did you see it? Daddy and Mommy are secretly showing off their love. Little Bean said playfully. Yeah, I saw it. Daddy's lips and Mommy's hand gesture. Pudding understood everything. The adults sure know how to have fun. Little Bean pouted. Huomin looked around with the microphone in his hand and said in a soft voice, Thank you all for coming today. Today is the wedding of my brother, Ni Yang, and my assistant, Xianxia. At the most important moment of their lives, I sincerely wish that they can trust each other, support each other, and live happily ever after. Actually, I also want to say that many people think that when the princess and the prince get together, it is the end of the story and the beginning of a fairy tale. Actually, that's not the case. After the prince and the princess get married, they will have to face many real problems. Marriage isn't a flower under the moonlight, and most of the time, it's just a mess. It all depends on how they manage this marriage. I hope that my brother and sister-in-law will be mentally prepared to face all the trials and tribulations in life. Please understand each other, be tolerant, respect, and love each other, and live life as beautiful as a fairy tale. Thank you all. After speaking, Huomin bowed deeply. At this moment, she was extremely elegant. She became the most beautiful woman in the world. Qin Chu looked at Huomin from below the stage, his heart filled with pride. His wife had been outstanding since she was a child. She was as charismatic as ever, And her simple words touched the audience. Mian, you said it so well. Zhu Lingling clapped her hands. His IQ is there. We can't compare with him, Gao Ran said with a smile. Mian, you're an emotional girl, I think you live more realistically than I do, Jiang Xiaowei commented. In fact, Jiang Xiaowei's IQ and EQ were also very high, but she was not as good as Huamin. She was just too rational. If a woman was too calm, sometimes she would lack a sense of humanity. Huamin was not like that. She was too emotional. She would cry, laugh, throw a tantrum, and even drive a car into Huasiqian in excitement. She would even want to jump off a cliff because of despair. After all, they weren't immortals. They all had emotions and desires. Therefore, in comparison, a girl like Huamin was more likable. This was also the reason why Jiang Xiaowei admired Huamin the most. Su Yu looked at Huamin affectionately, his gaze unwavering. He always thought that although she wasn't a superstar, she was as dazzling as a superstar. It had been a long time since he saw her radiate with such charm. Su Yu actually felt a little excited. He even wanted to go up on stage and hug Huamin. However, after calming down, he realized that hugging was not an option. Right now, even being alone with Huamin was an extravagant wish. It was as if she never belonged to him. Did you see that? Look at the way Lord Su looks at your sister-in-law. It's like how Shimin Qing looks at Pan Jinlian. Tang Chuan teased. Fuck off. Qin Ning was so angry that she exploded. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. Qin Ning turned her head away and ignored him. Ning, to be honest, Lord Su really loves Huamin. Tang Chuan didn't bring it up on purpose. He just felt emotional when he saw Su Yu's infatuated gaze. I know. This time, Qin Ning didn't get angry. Instead, she quietly bit her lip and said, When did you find out? Tang Chuan was curious. Chapter 2268. I already knew. You already knew? Then why did you try to get close to Lord Su? Tang Chuan stared at Qin Ning, his heart filled with jealousy. Who tried to get close to Su Yu? Don't deny it, I can see it. Pudding and Little Bean were the ones who set us up. It's not like you don't know how smart those two little guys are. How dare they marry my wife to someone else? I'm going to teach them a lesson. The robot must come back. Tang Chuan began to hold a grudge. What robot? Qin Ning was confused. Nothing. Tang Chuan didn't dare to say more, afraid that Qin Ning would see through the confidentiality agreement between him and Little Bean. Then the MC called the twins to the stage and teased them. You two are so pretty. My little babies, why don't you give the bride and groom a question? I heard that you two have high IQ, so please don't make it too difficult. The MC said with a smile. Sis, you give us a question. Little Bean handed the difficult task to her sister. Pudding's question must be harder. And Yang smiled and picked up Pudding. Chen Jie, in her wedding dress, held Little Bean's hand. As parents, Qin Chu and Huamin watched from below. What do you think Pudding will ask? Qin Chu tilted his head and looked at Huamin. Maybe she'll ask something that tests IQ. For example, how many light years is Earth from Neptune? Honey, what do you think Little Bean will ask? Huamin asked excitedly. She'll probably ask Yang how many times he plans to do it tonight. Don't make your daughter sound so dirty, okay? Huamin almost choked. Little Bean has always been like this. It's not like you've just met her. Qin Chu laughed. All right, we'll wait and see. Huamin smiled faintly. Yang handed the microphone to Pudding. Pudding looked at Yang and said, Uncle Yang, please say 6 names for the bride in 30 seconds. The countdown starts now. Wife, lover, baby, wife. After saying 5 words, Yang was stuck. Tang Chuan reminded him softly from behind. Your mother. Get lost. Your mother is the mother's idea. Don't talk nonsense. Qin Ning immediately stopped Tang Chuan's deliberate prank. It's almost time, uncle. Pudding smirked. There's one more. I'm sure I can say it. Does my dear count? Yang suddenly had an idea. Yes. Pudding nodded and looked at Xianxia. Auntie, please say 6 names for the bridegroom. Husband, 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 lover, husband, darling. Xianxia said almost in a row. Since Yang was setting the stage, she was much more relaxed. Honey, you're so smart. Yang complimented. So, Uncle Yang, you have to listen to your wife from now on, okay? Pudding asked. No problem. Yang smiled. Little Bean, you ask your uncle one too. Yang really liked the twins, so he wanted to give them a chance to show off. Before Little Bean spoke, Qin Chu and Huamin were both nervous. They were afraid that she would really say something outrageous. After all, there were too many reporters at the scene. It would be bad if someone caught them. Uncle, how many babies do you plan to have? Little Bean asked. Ahem, I'm responding to the country's call for a second child. 2 is enough. Yang replied. What if Auntie wants to have more babies? Are you willing? Little Bean continued to press. Then we'll have more. Listen to your auntie. We'll just have to pay the fine. After Yang said this, everyone laughed. Then here's the question. How long do you think it will take for Auntie to get pregnant? Little Bean asked. Qin Chu and Huamin both covered their faces. Their expressions were extremely sour. Yang also blushed upon hearing the little girl's question. Chapter 2269. Yang stuttered. Little Bean's words made everyone burst into laughter. Oh my God, isn't my daughter-in-law a bit too fierce? Zhu Lingling burst into laughter. I don't want a daughter-in-law like her. I'm going to ask Qin Chu for a refund. Gao Ran said with puppy eyes. Little Bean is too dirty, too dirty. Gao Buyuan covered his eyes. Son, do you know what Little Bean meant? Zhu Lingling looked down at her son in her arms. I don't know, but I can tell from your expressions that it's not something good, Gao Buyuan said proudly. Huh, son, you're amazing, your reasoning skills are as good as your dad's. Zhu Lingling pinched her son's cheeks. Gao Ran picked up Gao Buyuan from Zhu Lingling's arms. Of course, he's my son, he's not a free gift. Little Bean is such a clown. I'm so lucky to have a daughter like her. Jiang Xiaowei smiled. How about we swap? You give Yun Chu to my family, and I'll give Little Bean to yours. Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei with a smile. Before Jiang Xiaowei could say anything, Wei Yunchu couldn't sit still anymore. Auntie Huamin, you can't swap. Why not? Auntie will treat you as well as your mom. You can have whatever you have at home, Huamin coaxed Wei Yunchu. She thought Wei Yunchu would say something like, my mom is the best. However, after a while, he finally said, no, if I give her to your family, I'll be Pudding's brother and sister. There's a U shape there, close relatives can't get married. Pudding is my wife, she can't be my sister. Haha. Wei Yunchu's words made Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran laugh. Jiang Xiaowei couldn't hold it in either. Then you can marry Little Bean. Didn't I give her to your family? Then you two won't be siblings anymore. Huamin continued to test the little handsome guy's IQ. Forget it. If we don't compare, we won't know. Now that we compare, I'm shocked. I think Pudding suits me better. Little Bean is too wild. Wei Yunchu used the word wild to describe Little Bean. Slightly, your son's EQ isn't bad. It's comparable to yours. He's going to be amazing when he grows up. Zhu Lingling chuckled. This kid is just like his father. Although he doesn't say much, his words are all gold. I don't know what to do. Jiang Xiaowei patted her son's head lovingly. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. He pulled Qin Chu aside and said, listen, your Little Bean is being despised. It's okay. Little Bean can marry boy. Mr. Qin said calmly. Our Buyun won't take the blame. Gao Ran held his son tightly and corrected him. While the adults in the audience were having fun, Yang was still thinking hard about how to answer Little Bean's question. Superstar, hurry up and answer, the MC cheered. I'll try my best to make your auntie pregnant in the shortest time possible. Yang finally stuttered and made a promise in front of everyone. Chen Jie's cheeks also turned red. Little Bean is so fierce. But I like it. Haha. Tang Chuan laughed behind him. Qin Ning looked at the man in front of her. He wasn't pretentious and was laughing arrogantly. She suddenly felt that people like him were quite nice. At least he wasn't shrewd, at least he wasn't hard to read. Why are you looking at me like that? Tang Chuan turned around and saw Qin Ning looking at him. Chapter 2270. Can I just take a look? Do you think I'm spending money? Qin Ning snapped. No, look all you want. If you don't like it, you can touch it. Tang Chuan snickered. Fuck off. The best man and the maid of honor fought behind them, and the wedding ended with smiles and tears. Next up was the wedding banquet. Huamin and Qin Chu paid for all the expenses. They used the best wedding banquet set from the Yunding Mountain Hot Spring Hotel, which cost as much as $38,888 per table. The banquet was full of seafood, sashimi, and other high-end dishes. The guests were extremely satisfied. There were 100 tables of banquets. Even the media was prepared to take photos and interview the guests. All the media gave good reviews. At the Hua Mansion, Huasiqian was wearing a bathrobe and sitting in the living room with a glass of red wine in his hand. He was watching the 80-inch LCD TV. When Huamin went on stage, he was extremely focused. His subordinates stood in a row behind him, but no one dared to say a word. Isn't she beautiful? Huasiqian asked. One of his assistants froze for a second before realizing who Huasiqian was referring to. He nodded and flattered, Yes, Miss Hua is very beautiful. I haven't seen her so elegant in a long time. What a cute girl. Even her words are so interesting. Huasiqian praised Huamin's performance as he sipped on his wine. Boss, since you miss Miss Hua so much, why don't we invite her to our house? Although his assistant used the word invite, based on their current relationship, Huamin would have to be forceful or even kidnap her. Forget it, it's New Year's Eve, why make things difficult for her? With that, Huasiqian picked up his phone and dialed a number. Huamin was busy greeting guests at the wedding, so she picked up the call without looking at the caller ID. Hello, I'm Huamin, she said breathlessly. Happy New Year, Mian, Huasiqian smiled slightly and said in a magnetic voice. Hearing Huasiqian's voice, Huamin stopped smiling. What do you want? Nothing, I just miss you and want you to come home. Huasiqian meant the Hua Mansion. Are you delusional, Huasiqian? Huamian. Don't be so agitated. I was just thinking about it. I won't do anything to you. The live broadcast just now was very exciting. Your performance was very outstanding. My girl, every time Huasiqian said something so mushy, Huamin felt a chill run down her spine. If that's what you're calling to say, then I'm sorry, but I'm busy. Then Huamian hung up the phone. What's wrong? Qin Chu saw that Huamin wasn't in a good mood and walked over. Nothing, it's just a prank call, Huamin said evasively as she held onto Qin Chu's arm and continued greeting the guests. After the twins left the stage, their grandparents carried them to sit with Ni Yang's mother, little brother, and Qinjie's parents. Huamian had arranged for all the people at this table to be her elders, who were very close to her. Tang Chuan and Qin Ning walked to the lounge to get changed. You're wearing too little, come here and wear mine. Tang Chuan saw that Qin Ning's gown was too revealing, so he took off his jacket and put it on her. How is this considered too little? Qin Ning looked down at her gown, thinking that Tang Chuan's words were ridiculous. It's not that you're wearing too little, it's that your breasts are too big. Haha, that's why people's imaginations run wild. Tang Chuan laughed. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.